It was Friday night, and the hour had grown late as I settled into my first sleepover at Ray's house. With his parents absent for the weekend, the responsibility of watching over us in the house fell upon Ray's sister, who was a junior in high school, since Ray and I were only 11 at the time. We devoted most of the night to playing PlayStation as it was below freezing outside, and I vividly remember immersing ourselves in Resident Evil 2, a chilling survival horror game teeming with flesh-eating zombies, a game my parents would never allow me to play. Its eerie ambience truly set a tone for the night. As I was watching Ray, I noticed the floodlight in the backyard that was easily visible from the couch I was sitting on had flashed on. I looked over, but I didn't notice anything, just the snow-covered yard. "Hey, your light went on back there," I said to Ray. Ray turned his head, lowered his controller and looked at the window. "Oh yeah, it's nothing," Ray said. He then went on to explain that the flag attached to the shed in the backyard sometimes trips the light when it's windy. After indulging in the pizza Ashley, Ray's sister, had arranged for us, we descended back to the gaming den to continue our game. A faint, fleeting flash in the corner of my eye caught my attention. Glancing out the window, all I can discern was darkness and my own reflection. Then, the floodlight near the shed turned on again. "The light is annoying," I said to Ray as he started up the save file we had. "Yeah, I know, and the windier the more it goes off," he replied. I had thought, why not just move the flag somewhere else so it doesn't just keep triggering that light? Whatever, it's not my business. As the light flickered on again, I casually glanced over for the dozenth time, but this time, spotting a dark figure lurking just beside the shed. My pulse quickened as I dashed to alert Ray. Despite his initial skepticism and dismissal, Ray eventually joined me to investigate after my persistent reassurance. "Who is that?" Ray asked as he spotted the figure. "He's kind of freaking me out," I replied. Slowly, he advanced towards the forest edge, tracing the outline of Ray's backyard. In an instant, the light vanished, shrouding the man in darkness. "Should we go tell Ashley?" I questioned, a hint of concern in my voice. Ray didn't seem to be as troubled, as he just wanted to continue playing Resident Evil before settling into our sleeping bags for the night. And so, we followed his suggestion and I tried my best to forget the figure. In the depths of the night, cocooned within our sleeping bags in the downstairs living room, Ray and I engaged in casual conversation about various subjects. The specifics escaped me, but the reoccurring flicker of that light outside remained a constant presence, each time pondering whether the man was lurking out there. A couple hours after falling asleep, I woke up needing to use the bathroom. Navigating the dark room and hallway was challenging, but I managed to find my way. Upon returning to the open living room, something unusual caught my attention. I observed a couple of brief flashes of light outside, distinct from the usual floodlight. They were rapid bursts. I slowly crept closer, intent on uncovering the source of the previous flashing, but found my view obstructed by the shut curtain. The flashing had ceased, and in its place, a noise appeared to come from just beyond the window. It sounded like possibly something or someone moving outside. The room was enveloped in silence, with only Ashley's music playing softly in the background and the occasional rustle from Ray. I approached the curtain, and with a gentle touch, prepared to carefully slide it aside and peek through. As I drew back the curtain, I was confronted by the sight of an elderly man's face, contorted in a wide, eerie smile. My eyes widened in terror, and I let out a horrified scream. Just before retreating, I observed the man raising an old Polaroid camera, its flash momentarily blinding me. "What's going on?" Ray questioned, startled awake by my scream. I recounted the unsettling encounter, explaining that there was an old man snapping pictures just outside the window. With a sense of urgency, Ray leaped from his sleeping bag and joined me. His expression mirrored my unnerving feeling. "He's right outside that window," I remarked, gesturing towards the very spot where I had witnessed the disturbing sight. Together, Ray and I moved closer to the window, our attention focused and senses on high alert. As we neared, a sharp tapping sound echoed from the glass, accompanied by a brief flash of light. Instantly, Ray and I exchanged alarming glances, our eyes widening in unison as we locked gazes. With a shared sense of urgency, we both cried out and sprinted upstairs to alert Ashley. "What's with all the screaming?" Ashley questioned, stepping out of her room to find Ray and me in a state of distress. We wasted no time in explaining the unsettling encounter, detailing the presence of a suspicious man outside the house. "You guys have been playing that zombie game too much," she commented, brushing off our concerns. "I'm calling 911, Ray declared before making his way to the house phone in the upstairs kitchen. "No, we don't do that. Mom and Dad will never trust us alone again," Ashley insisted, trailing after Ray. Meanwhile, I approached a window upstairs with a view of the backyard, hoping to catch sight of the man. "There, look, he's right there," I exclaimed, pointing as I spotted the man standing in the middle of the yard. With Ashley and Ray now beside me, the three of us peered out together. In the dark, snow-covered backyard, the man stood, leaving behind visible footprints in the snow leading to and from the house. Despite the darkness making it difficult to discern details, as he neared the shed, the sudden illumination from the floodlight once again revealed his presence. We remained fixated as the man directed his attention toward the house, raising his camera once more to capture another image. "What is he doing?" Ashley questioned, her tone filled with disbelief. Despite the darkness shrouding the yard, the light cast on the man was just enough to make out the disturbing and creepy smile etched on his face. With occasional backward glances, he vanished into the trees. The three of us remained on high alert, straining our eyes to catch any further sign of his presence. However, our efforts were in vain, as the shed's floodlight flickered off, leaving us in a state of uncertainty. "That is so creepy," Ashley had mentioned. Shortly after that point, we all took action to lock up each door and window. Ashley decided to stay awake for the remainder of the night. Ray and I agreed to sleep in the upstairs living room, positioning ourselves closer to Ashley's room. Her seniority provided us with a comforting sense of security. Sleeping that night was undeniably tough, especially with the constant on and off of that floodlight. The initial few times prompted me to investigate the man's presence, yet each time yielding nothing. The light was being tripped by that flag blowing back and forth next to it, and it didn't help that it was particularly windy that night. As the night passed, I eventually drifted off to sleep. The following morning, bathed in the sunlight streaming through the windows, my spirits lifted and the discomfort from the previous night dissipated. Yet, the haunting question of the man's intentions outside Ray's house lingered in my mind, and even today, anytime the thought revisits, it creeps me out.